Biden warns Beijing that there would be no material help for Russia. According to the White House, President Biden cautioned Chinese President Xi Jinping that if Beijing gives material support to Russia during its invasion of Ukraine, Beijing will face consequences. President Biden described our efforts to avoid and subsequently respond to the invasion, including by putting costs on Russia, according to a White House summary of the call. He outlined the significance and ramifications of China providing material support to Russia as it conducts savage attacks against Ukrainian cities and citizens. The White House has not specified what those ramifications would be. On a secure video conference on Friday morning, the two leaders spoke for about 2 hours. Biden administration officials made it clear prior to the call that Biden would warn Xi that if China provided military or other aid to Russia in its war effort in Ukraine, China will suffer consequences. We're concerned that they're thinking about actively assisting Russia with military weapons for use in Ukraine, Secretary of State Antony Blinken told reporters on Thursday, the day the White House confirmed the phone call. According to a Chinese translation of the call, Xi informed Biden that China does not want the situation in Ukraine to come to this. According to the summary, Xi also expressed support for peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, but did not criticize Russia's activities in Ukraine. All sides must work together to support Russia and Ukraine in establishing productive dialogue and negotiations that lead to peace, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated in a statement. The US and NATO should also engage in conversation with Russia to solve the core of the Ukraine conflict and alleviate both Russia's and Ukraine's security concerns. The two presidents tasked their teams to follow up on the talk in the days ahead, according to both readouts. China has attempted to present itself as a neutral party in the Ukraine conflict as its connections with Russia have grown stronger in recent years. Officials from the United States have pushed China to criticize Russia's actions, while also voicing worries about China's ties with Russia. Earlier this week, reports circulated that Russia was requesting military aid from China as it pursued its assault. Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan said during a lengthy conversation with China's top ambassador earlier this week in Rome that Beijing would face consequences if it assisted Russia with the invasion financially or militarily. Despite authorities and experts suggesting the Russian advance has not progressed as quickly or as successfully as the Kremlin had intended, Russia has escalated its attacks on Ukraine since it first launched its invasion 3 weeks ago. Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched missiles into hospitals and civilian areas, prompting Biden and Blinken to label him a war criminal. Ukraine has received billions of dollars in humanitarian and security aid from the United States. Biden proposed $1 trillion in aid to Ukraine last week, which will be used to give anti-aircraft defense systems, anti-tank weapons, and other weapons. Separate from the Ukraine talks, Biden stated that the U.S. stance on Taiwan has not changed and that the U.S. continues to oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo, according to a White House statement. Taiwan has always been a source of friction between the United States and China, and Russia's actions in Ukraine has raised fears among some international watchdogs that China would try to invade or annex the island. Biden earlier reminded Xi that the U.S. is committed to the One China policy, which states that the U.S. does not recognize Taiwan as a separate country from China, but also that the U.S. has no duty to send troops to Taiwan if it is attacked by China. The United States has promised to assist Taiwan with armaments for its defense under the Taiwan Relations Act of 1979. The law does not obligate the United States to send soldiers to Taiwan to defend the island.